Hello again, everyone. How are you today? This is Aluminum Tarot. We're going to be reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of April 2026. Yes, I did say April 2026. Not New Year's, not Valentine's Day, not even spring. We're in fucking April already. So, my goodness, time does fly, as I have been explained to many people. We're going to read for Aquarius. We're going to see what's going to be taking place for the month of April. I'm switching up the cards a little bit so that way I can have a bit of a different setup. I'm kind of getting tired of just reading the short Celtic cross. I'll maybe go back into that kind of reading in the near future, but what we'll see for now, we'll just see what's taken place in the recent past, current, near future, outcome, and so on and so on. So, as always, if you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, just support the channel in whichever way you feel comfortable and suitable. That said, I believe that we're coming into a full moon in Libra pretty soon. And they said something about being a pink moon. I remember Barbara Jolie was talking a little bit about that in one of her recent uploads. So that said, full moon in Libra has a lot to do with the relationships, or it can deal a lot with reciprocity or karma even, as it's connected to both the Justice card and the Empress card. So with that said, you'll probably be focusing on a lot of those themes, seventh house themes as well, even marriages of sorts, and finding out what you need to release or to bring into your life. So, without further ado, we're going to go straight into the Libra reading. We'll talk a little bit about what's taken place in the recent past. So, here we have your card, the Ace of Swords. In the recent past, you were dealing with understanding a breakthrough or getting an insight onto a particular aspect of your life. I do believe, after clarifying this, that the aspect that you were focused on was why you deal with people who are either dodgy, shady, or, lacking a specific level of accountability that would be helpful to sustaining the relationship. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into these readings so that way I'm just not reading things at a surface level. Oh, you're getting a new job. Oh, you're going to have this happen, and so on. This tells me of a person who is finally using that Ace of Swords to cut out these people that have been entering into their lives. So when you have people who, do not express love or do not treat you with, the respect that you deserve, or potentially people who act behind your back in order to get the things that they want, it's important for you to get the insight on that, the clarity, which is the sword. And then after that, use that sword to then reshape what it is that you want your life to be like. So if you need to remove people from your life, do that. And then if you need to take a specific action on aspects of your life, you can do that as well. And this is going to be the thing that helps you to move forward. By cutting the dead weight, you're able to finally feel lighter and you can move forward into your next stage of life. Now, what I see with this is what you have been doing in the past. And so by saying that, we can try to find out exactly where you're going to be in this present moment. I'm just going to clarify the recent past. Yep. So you're getting impatient with people, and additionally, these people have set you a bit off kilter when it comes to the way that you feel about really romantic relationships, what you feel about where you place your heart. I don't know why I'm getting that phrase. I'm getting rushes closer to the heart. That song's playing in my head right now. And it seems to me like you're trying to move forward into a place that allows your heart to feel on a deeper level. Because maybe in the past, you have been dealing either A, with someone who exhibited those behaviors of the Knight of Cups in the reverse, just being very flighty, flaky in love, or gameplay. And now you're getting insight on that. If this is yourself, then you're understanding where you feel guilty about the things that you had done or the things that you had invited into your life that had those same types of themes. Because now you're in the recent past, you were in a place of kind of upheaval, turmoil, and impatience, a lack of balance, and a bit off kilter mentally when it came to the way that you were seeing things and the way that you were approaching life. Now we go into the next part. This is going to be your present. Currently, what's going to be taking place for the month of April. You have the King of Swords in the reverse, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse and the King of Pentacles. So, if I step back and I look at what this is about, at first glance, it appears to me that whoever this King of Swords is, if it's you, being an Aquarius, it can show where you yourself were not in a specific headspace to be able to keep yourself balanced. So what you did is instead you threw yourself into your work, finance, and career. And this in turn, you find that for some reason it didn't grant you the stability that you wanted. And if this is an individual, if this is a person, you're finally understanding that this person was not a very good match for you. They were actually very emotionally manipulative, abusive. They could have said, quite awful or vile things to you. And it seemed like at the time that you were in this relationship because this person offered you stability, but now that that stability is being kind of uprooted, you're realizing that it's time for you to kind of see things a bit more clearly about the types of people that you attract into your life or the type of person that you try to become, because these are two masculine energies here. This is the King of Swords in the reverse, and it's also the King of Pentacles in the upright. So it's telling me that there's a person who's getting out of the mental space, trying to root themselves somewhere firmly in the physical space, but it's not really paying off. Tell me more. Yeah, so we're getting some interesting energies here. More energies that came out. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Swords. So these are two diametrically opposed energies. The Queen of Pentacles is grounded, rooted, very pragmatic, and focuses specifically on what they need to do to nurture the home space. They stay indoors. They're pretty even keel with everything. They nurture projects and so on. Knight of Swords is the exact opposite. They're like, nah, we're going to fuck shit up and we're going to make things the way we want them to be. We're going to attack. We're not going to think about the consequences. We're not going to think about the battle plan. Sometimes we're just going to go in, get it done. And perhaps with the two of these cards together, that's the kind of lifestyle that you felt that you were hurriedly pursuing. It's like you wanted that stability. I'm not sure whether or not you went about it in a conducive way or a haphazard way. I'm not really going to judge on that. But basically what this shows is an impetus to really kind of achieve that kind of lifestyle. So after dealing with a bunch of negative or toxic patterns in the past related to the emotional space, you then threw yourself into the physical space. And what that has done is, while it has granted you some level of security, it hasn't really given you the foundation that you are actually seeking, because there needs to be a balance of all of the elements. There needs to be a bit of mental space. There needs to be a bit of emotion. There needs to be a bit of passion. I mean, can be like someone who takes a job and it just pays the bills and there's no real interest in it because they want stability and that was the first job that came to them. Or perhaps it was something someone told them they needed to get into. And however, you're now realizing that it's time for you to get back into balance with everything that you're doing with your life. And if this is a person, an external individual that has created this feeling, you realize that now that person is no longer necessary or essential to your life, and that you can do this on your own to pursue the stability, the peace of mind, and the home life that you that you are seeking right now, because that is going to be the thing that you have to do independently. So we do have a nudie card, but I have here the Lovers for your near future in the reverse. We have the Moon in the reverse, and then we have the Three of Cups in the reverse, clarifying that. Now, when you have the Lovers in the reverse, this can talk about a disconnect or a detachment. So whatever it is that you've been dealing with, whether this is another person, a job, or a boss, or a place, or a sentiment even, you're detaching from that, and you're realizing slowly that, these third-party relationships, or these situations where people are working against your best interests, are not really helping you to get to the goals that you seek. And the reason why I say that is because you have the Judgment card as your signifier. This is, okay, God, I don't know what I'm going to do about this Rider-Waite situation. I really hope that YouTube relaxes its policy on artistic nudity, which I think is silly that they would flag certain things just because there is a bit of side boob on it that isn't even a real boob. Clarifying that, from the Torino deck, we have the Ace of Wands, which is the new start. So it's like a delayed new start. Judgment in the reverse, clarified by the Ace of Clubs, which is the Ace of Wands. This talks a lot about someone who is struggling to resurrect something deeply important to them in their lives, something that is going to reshape their life. And because you want this new start, because you want to feel a passion that you haven't experienced in a long time, it feels like this is always constantly being pushed back or delayed. Like it's, the terminology, future faking. You can always feel like the universe is future faking with you, that you're going to find the right person, you're going to get the new start in whatever it is you want, whether that's work or romantic related. And I don't know why when I look at this Three of Cups in the reverse, I feel like it's the people that you surround yourself with may sabotage your best efforts, or you may self-sabotage. And it's important to recognize when that is taking place. What I do see is positive for the outcome for the month of April. You do have the Strength card, you have the Sun, and you have the Two of Wands. So this tells us of a person who is finally understanding their strength, their value, their worth. Additionally, they're finally coming out of the dark period that they were in for quite some time, and they'll finally start to make plans on what to do next. So I do think that if you persevere, go within, try to sort out some of the shadow elements of your personality. Like, what am I doing to create chaos in relationships? What kind of chaos am I inviting into relationships? Where am I putting my efforts to create stability in life? And is this going to be conducive to me long term? If it is, great. If not, I need to cut it where it is, and then I need to move on to something better, because that will clear the path to allow me to finally see, okay, I need to go for that. Okay, I need to go ahead and start working on this thing. And instead of wasting your time on toxicity, you will finally start to move forward to things that actually lift your spirits and make you feel properly like you're receiving, a good, healthy balance of give and take. The reason why I say that now is because we have the Oracle card, which says holding space for love. And it talks about non-judgment, discernment, and self-acceptance. So that was kind of what I was talking about a little bit, where you're finally going within, doing all the dirty work that you need in order to clear the pathway for a more authentic self. We talk about that a lot with Jungian psychology, especially in the context of this, in these readings. And this allows people to no longer be held captive by the shadow self. Once you integrate it fully into yourself, then you can finally say, okay, well, now I can do these things from a freer, unbound perspective. So how this would apply as an algorithm to other aspects of your life. Say, for example, you're in a job, you're constantly feeling like people are not really allowing you to get promotions. They're working behind your back. They're deceiving you. They're sabotaging you. And it's put you in a really bad mental space. And so what you've tried to do is you've tried to either research ways that you can make money on the side, find ways to invest in new things, and try to just focus only on money. Because emotions hurt so bad, you're going to focus on your pentacles and your coin. Well, that is actually, contributing to the destruction of your foundation, because as time passes, you'll realize that too, the things that you have invested in are creating damaging consequences for you longer term. As you try to build on that foundation, you realize that there are cracks within the foundation that in turn cause you a lot more pain and suffering as you try to build upwards. Which is why you're going to have to detach and, reconnect yourself to something more authentic. That is what I'm getting here. I'm going to pull one more card. Figure out. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I got two cards here. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. It's no longer working on something, letting go of that thing. And it's oftentimes connected to the physical self, money, time, energy, resources, things of that nature. When you have 4 plus 8, that's 12, that's 3 of Pentacles. It's kind of like you're getting to a place where you're no longer trying to put all of your energy and efforts into something to escape something else that was not so good. It can help to a degree for some people who throw themselves into their work after they've had a heartbreak, or they throw themselves into like a creative project and start learning how to paint and do other things. Like for myself, I threw myself into motorbiking. I threw myself back into music, playing drums, getting out there, exploring and traveling, things like that. So it can help as a counterbalance, but then you realize at some point in time, you have to face those shadow aspects. And by doing that, that's when things will start to move forward for you. And you'll be able to have that nice, happy, sunny time that should take place in April if you stay on the right path. And hopefully that will, be very conducive for you. So I'm going to leave it there. That's a lot to say. That's a lot of rambling and bantering, but I hope you have a really good April, season. And hopefully for the full moon and Libra, that's going to help you to kind of bring in some of that balance and let go of some of the other things that are creating a lack of balance. So that's going to be it. It's Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining. And as always, love and light. Bye now.